Okay, what's up everyone? Morey Croson here from the Performance Lab of California doing another speed breakdown here. This is going to be of Andre de Grasse, the sprinter out of Canada. Really one of the top sprinters in the world right now, doing a lot of competition within all the other top guys. So I thought it'd be good idea to do a little bit of a breakdown of him, kind of see what makes him good, what makes him one of the top end sprinters. And I think there's two things that have really stood out to me doing these breakdowns, and that is one, the flexibility and the range of motion these guys are able to take their legs through, I think, is extraordinary, and a big part of this because they have so much power, so much strength, but at the same time they have so much range of motion, so much flexibility. That is huge. The other thing is the unbelievable ability for them to be able to create and generate the force that they're able to do with such a small amount of ground contact time. So we could see as we go through the video here that the amount of time that they spend on the ground, he's right next to Justin Gatlin here too, so we can look at him as well, is just extraordinary. They're just barely tapping onto the ground and getting their foot right back up, and that's what makes them able to create the large amount of force that they can, is being so plyometric or so agile in each one of their steps. So it's very, very impressive they're able to do that. I think what the Grasse does really good here is that he has a very, very good ability to maintain kind of a looseness within his shoulders. So I think he actually uses a good amount of kind of upper trap shoulder activation and what he's doing. So you can see he kind of gets a little bit of a shrug going there. So he's moving up in this area right by the again, the shoulders, the chest, stuff like that, probably getting a good amount of activation going. Very stable, very controlled in the lower body, also very controlled, very stable in the upper body, and then obviously has a great ability to go through full range of motion. So the things that I think you want to work on if you're a sprinter really trying to understand how to get to that top end speed is really being able to be flexible in your hips and being able to go through an entire range of motion very effectively is going to be crucial, because you could see how they're running. You could see how, and de Grasse goes and looks over to the side a little bit here, but look at how he's able to get that heel all the way up to his butt. I mean, that is just phenomenal how much range of motion that he has within those quads, and that's what makes it so his next step here, he goes into a really high degree of hip flexion. So you can see his knee gets all the way up to his hip, which is another very, very hard thing to achieve. And then he goes and extends out, and he's very vertical. So he goes and extends out, and right away he gets that foot right back underneath him, taps down on the ground, and he's back and creating maximum force, and he's generating that other leg through. So he just doesn't spend a lot of time on the ground working to generate his force. He's very much just tapping on the ground, and then he gets that heel right back up to his butt and stays very, very vertical. Okay. Another thing that we could see is that he's just not using very much movement within his core. You can see that there's a lot of stabilization there, and that comes from doing anti-rotation type exercises. One of the things that we want to try to do is get to the point where we could start building this a lot more effectively, so it's not as much about well, I mean, genetics are always going to be important, kind of the natural ability is going to be important, but if we can start getting a system of being able to, figure out how to make certain people become top-end sprinters, I mean, that's really the end goal here. And I think one of the things that we're going to really focus on is foot contact time. I think that's crucial. Another thing is having that full range of motion to be able to get good amount of strength within the hamstring, because this is really all hamstring strength in correlation or combination with a large amount of quad range of motion and quad mobility. And then another big part of it is going to be overall core strength. So just not being able to resist anti-rotation very, very well. Okay, and again, I mean, what he also has is a lot of shoulder range of motion. So as he's going through, he's using his shoulders and that shrug to kind of get his weight to start going upwards. He's kind of a light guy, so by just going, you can see here really good. See how he's raising up his shoulders, and by raising up his shoulders, his whole body is able to raise up, and it's right when he's pushing off the ground. So there's a lot of coordination that goes into this as well, where you need to be able to do a very good job of timing that push off with driving that. So right here, timing that push off from that left leg with driving that right leg up to make it so everything is very, very synchronized, and then going through, landing with the weight underneath you, and then going back into that same sequence of driving that knee up, tapping off of that back leg at the same time. And then what he kind of does, he kind of has that shrug where he's kind of bringing the shoulders up, where you can see Gatlin doesn't do that as much. Gatlin's a little bit more just pec based and lower chest based, while DeGrasse is a little bit kind of upper back based, where he's going to get a good amount of shrug going on and really try to control his ability to get vertical force is from doing that. But really both of them have a little bit of that, where they're pushing off and they're getting a little bit of kind of upward help through their shoulders to make it so their spine's going upwards, and probably helping in decompressing that spine a little bit. So just some interesting information in there. We want to continue to break down these guys that are just the top end sprinters and seeing what they do that's a little bit different. I think that DeGrasse getting that really kind of vertical movement within his shoulders is very helpful. And then also, really doing a good job of keeping a nice smoothness within kind of this upper chest in comparison to Gatlin, who's much tighter up in here. DeGrasse is very smooth, very loose here, but then has very strong core strength while he's running. So it really shows that he's able to get into a rhythm, and you can see as he's running, he's looking kind of side to side. So it really makes a difference where he has that natural ability to hold that top end speed no matter where his head and neck are looking, just because of some of the fundamentals that he has in the lower body. So very impressive run here, and we'll continue to break down speed. We want to make it so you guys get a great understanding of what mechanics you need to be able to generate the most amount of speed, as well as what type of exercises to do in order to to generate the most amount of speed. We know that speed kills in all types of sports, and then obviously within track and field it's essential. So getting the right mechanics is crucial in order for you to really take your game and your body to the next level. So check out our membership page. We have a lot of good information there about how to build up speed, and then we also have a lot of other good breakdowns here for speed, and we also go into different exercises, as well as go into pitchers and quarterbacks, some overhead stuff, another important part of generating the right type of mechanics. So as always, thanks for watching, and we will have another breakdown up on Saturday. Talk to you soon. Bye.